While knowing that memory is very important, that we monitor it and know when it's being consumed and when it's being released, it's also very important to know how much CPU is being used to perform certain tasks in your code. For instance, we often want to know how much time is it taking to execute a particular algorithm or method. Fortunately, Android Studio provides us the tools we need to do this effectively. Included with Android Studio is the DDMS tool. Now, the DDMS tool is commonly known by most Android developers. It can be used for many things, such as profiling or just monitoring the application's behavior. I would like to show you how easy it is to use DDMS within Android Studio and monitor the performance of a method. So to get going, we need to know how to launch DDMS. There are a couple of ways to launch DDMS. The first is you could press the Android button if you see it in the periphery of the IDE. If you don't see it, you probably haven't launched DDMS before. To launch it from the menu system, we can go to the Tools menu, then select Android, and then select Android Device Monitor. Currently, there is no hotkey for that, but there's no reason you can't assign a hotkey for that item. If I press this button, that's the DDMS. By the way, this is floating right now. Normally I would have it docked. Now you can control the view of these windows like the debug here and the DDMS here by using this option here. There's pinned, docked, floating, and split. I usually choose pinned and docked. That way, even when I'm not focused on that window, like right now when my cursor is in the editing window, the window stays up and I can still view it. Sometimes, however, I like to float the window. That way I can enlarge it, move it around, and so forth. Also, this button here will shrink everything down for you in case you just don't want to see it at all. But let's bring it back. And you notice right now I have the application I'm running highlighted here, so you must select that. Let's review these items. There's a screen capture, there's a screen record, system information, there's a terminate application, garbage collection, heap dump, method tracing, and that's what we want, and then allocation tracking. So let's press the method tracing button. Now when we press that, it'll darken to show that it's been selected. At this point, I can get rid of this window for now. Go to my app, press calculate, bring that window back, and then stop tracing by selecting it again. I'll go ahead and shrink the window down. Now once it's done tracing, you'll see this tab appeared with this graph, which is very hard to read because of the size of the font. We care about what's below this, so let's bring that part up and shrink this one down. We can see each call on the main thread and the time that was spent there. This is the actual number for the time, and this is the percentage. If I sort by name, I can search for my search method and verify that it's performing well or not. So we are looking for com.example. There's a calculate sum, and there's search. The search took about 0.4% of my time for that full execution. The time doesn't look too bad compared to other things that were happening during the execution of the code. It looks like the search method is just fine. There are no red flags. This is a quick way to find out what in your application is using up your CPU and where you could focus on improving the speed.